the matter, girls? Are you camera shy? Hi, girls? Oh, good morning, everybody. We had a lot of interesting comments on yesterday's video about the Hard Times garden and what 3 vegetables you might grow. And I tried to limit the list to 3. It's really hard to do because there's so many vegetables that would work well and that store well. We had a commenter say, "Oh, we ought to grow and save celery." But to us, I mean, yeah, we put celery in every single soup we make, and it ends up in a lot of salads. But I think instead of celery, I'd grow celeriac, and that's what I have right here. We have 18 plants of celeriac. I 100% agree about the celery. Depending upon how much room in your garden and how long you want your vegetable list to be, celery would definitely be in there if you have a long list. If you only have a small amount of space, I think I would try to stick with the roots. And celery's close cousin, the celeriac, would fill that bill. Celeriac we grow every year because it stores extremely well in the root cellar. Extremely well. And when I use celeriac in soups, I like to cut it thinly. Celeriac and celery are both very heavy feeders. You want to lay down some good compost for those guys. And they also require a lot of water. And one thing that I've noticed about vegetables in general is that vegetables are like little storage units for water. Every time you bite into a vegetable, you get a lot of water. Anyway, celeriac and celery both require a lot of good compost, a lot of good water. We haven't had much water lately, so good old Danielle, she comes in here diligently and she waters and she waters. Thank goodness. Otherwise we wouldn't have anything. But yeah, I agree. Celery and celeriac. If I had to choose between those two, I would take the celeriac. But luckily we have kind of a large garden, so we grow both.
Celery and celeriac. They are heavy feeders. They need a lot of water and they don't tolerate weeds. And we're always on top of it, constantly weeding, and mulching would help save on the weeding. But so far, we're doing pretty well here, and they are doing well. It's interesting to see the difference in the size of the celeriac bulbs. Some are very big, and some not so big, but they're all really useful and flavorful, and that's what counts.
One could add tomatoes to their list of vegetables because tomatoes you can enjoy during the season, and you can also can tomatoes to put away in the pantry.
Yeah, I think there are 2 that are real close.
Cabbage is another plant that would be good for your Hard Times garden list because cabbage you can ferment. You can make sauerkraut, And you can store that way. It's very delicious. And another good vegetable to grow for your hard times garden would be beets. Beets store extremely well. You notice I keep using the word store. That's the key. You want to be able to store these things and take them into the winter with you. I'm back here with the chickens. I'm sitting in the shade. Just got finished doing a bunch of lawn mowing. There's always lawn to be mowed, I guess. I'd rather it be garden, but you can only take care of so much garden, and you can only take care of so much lawn also. So, I don't know. You just do the best you can. Pretty soon it'll be over and we'll have a lot of food in the pantry. I'm just trimming some smaller onions. These are going to go up to the kitchen. And I really enjoy it back here in the shade. This is behind the chicken coop, and it's our shady spot. I've talked from back here before. I've got a maple tree right above me, and there's a red oak over there, and I'm not sure what that tree is. But with this shade, it's probably 10 degrees cooler than it is out in the field, in the garden. So when we need to get out of the sun for a few moments, we come back here. I took some footage earlier of some other vegetables. Yesterday I talked about 3 vegetables that you might want to consider if you were growing what I call a hard times garden. I meant to bring down my flintlock rifle because I want to tell you that if you had those 3 ingredients, or some others for soup making, with a rifle you could go out into the woods and easily bag a squirrel or 2, or maybe a rabbit. Although we don't see too many rabbits, but squirrels, yeah. In fact, any day now I expect to see the squirrels coming in here full force after our hazelnuts. So just think that I've got a rifle in my hand, and if you took those potatoes and onions and carrots and a squirrel or 2, maybe made gray squirrel and dumplings, and I've made those, and they're not bad. They're not bad at all, gray squirrel and dumplings. You could get by quite well. In fact, you might even get sick of it. And you could switch out the carrots for, somebody suggested celery. Celery is wonderful. We put celery in every soup we have when we have celery. But there are times when we don't have celery because it only will last so long through the season. And that's where the celeriac comes in. So a celeriac, that's a vegetable that is celery's twin cousin, almost a twin cousin. And celeriac will store in that root cellar of ours. It stores all winter long. So if I had a choice between, if I could only choose one, either celery or celeriac, I would probably choose celeriac simply because it stores quite well. But heck, even cabbage, you can easily ferment cabbage. We've already done a couple cabbages, maybe 3, where we fermented them. And they'll store, gosh, for half a year. So that's what I'm talking about, is growing vegetables that will take you into the winter. Look at the wild animals. I mentioned squirrels before. Squirrels will be appearing any day now, and they're going to be storing acorns. They'll be storing hickory nuts. They're going to be storing walnuts if you have any. They'll be storing our hazelnuts. So the key word is storing, and that's what we'll be doing. We'll be storing. We'll be storing the vegetables that I mentioned, the potatoes and the carrots and the onions. but we'll also be storing the celeriac and the cabbage. We'll be storing beets. I forgot to mention beets before. Beets is a wonderful vegetable for storage, and there is a bunch of other vegetables that I could have mentioned. A lot of brassica plants like turnips and rutabaga. My friend Will Bonsall calls them rutabaga. But yeah, rutabagas, turnips, kohlrabi is another one. We've tried all those. Not big fans of them. We'd rather use our precious little garden space for other things. But if you're inclined in that direction, by all means, because they store, and that's the key word. We're trying to grow vegetables here that store. That's why you wouldn't grow lettuce, for example. If you really like lettuce a lot, you might want to consider building a small hoop house. And that's something else I wanted to talk to you about also, hoop houses, because I had another idea that I failed to tell you the other day when we were talking about hoop houses. I explained how we built our hoop house and greenhouse. But I forgot to tell you about the very first hoop house we made. And I should explain it to you because it's very simple. If you were watching our video about hoop houses and you were thinking, oh, I could never do that, think about this one. Make your rectangle take 2x6s, two 12-footers and two 20-footers. Make a good strong rectangle on the ground. And then get some 10-foot 3/4 inch either PVC pipe or CPVC pipe. Get a bunch of 10-footers, and I could tell you would need, 11 on each side is 22, and 11 couplings. That's all you would need. I didn't even glue our PVC pipes together at the coupling. I just slipped them together. So if you can get the lumberyard to deliver those 2x6s for you, and you should be able to, you're bound to have a small mom and pop lumberyard. Don't go to Lowe's or Home Depot, for crying out loud. Support the local mom and pop lumberyard. They need you in these days. So anyway, get those. Here's what you would need. I'll tell you right now. It's a very simple shopping list. 2 2x6 12-foot, 2 2x6 20-foot. That'll be your rectangle. 22 pieces of 3/4 inch PVC pipe or CPVC pipe, 11 couplings, and 11 pieces of 20-foot 1/2 inch rebar. So you're going to put those pipes together at the coupling, and you're going to take that rebar and slide it through all the way, and you're going to mark on your 20-foot side of your rectangle every 2 foot, and you're going to stretch the end of that. It's going to be kind of heavy. It'll be stiff because of the rebar. Stick it down in there. Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
I'm talking to the folks on YouTube.
Okay.
And then you just go,
Compost or whatever.
okay, I'll give it to the hens.
Yeah, that's
Okay. And then you just bring that hoop right on around and stick it on the other end of the rectangle. You do that for all 11 hoops, and you've got the frame of a 12 by 20 hoop house. We did that up in our, what we call Garden 1, and that thing was so serviceable. We enjoyed that hoop house so much. I just had a garden hose explode in my lap, trying to repair it, and it exploded. The water in the hose gets so hot that the pressure just pushes everything apart, because I guess we have a cheap hose. It was the most expensive one on the shelf. But anyway, so my primary point, my major point, the important point is that for the Hard Times garden, you want to concentrate on your favorite crops, but the ones that will store well. That's all. Simple as that. Between celery and celeriac, if I could only choose one, I would choose celeriac. But celery, hey, grow celery too, and yeah, I put it in every soup also. So that's about it from down here. And I guess I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.